Hello, Virgo. Happy to see you again. So something in you already knows before I say a single word, before this even begins. Something in you already knows that this moment is not an accident. You could have been anywhere right now doing anything, thinking about something else entirely. But you are here and something pulled you here. And I think if you get quiet enough, you can feel exactly what that something is. There is an anticipation sitting in your body right now. Not the anxious kind, not the desperate kind. Something quieter than that, something older than that, like the feeling just before rain, when the air changes and everything goes still, and some part of you, without knowing why, just knows. Something is coming, and I don't mean that in a distant, abstract way. I mean it in the way that your body already understands it, in the way that you have been feeling it underneath everything, underneath the noise, underneath the waiting, underneath the doubt. It is there. Let me stay here with you for a moment, because what I am picking up on today feels layered. It feels like more than one thing at once, and I want to honor each piece of it. There is something around abundance right now, around resources, around possibility, around the probability of things opening up financially um, in ways that may feel unexpected. And there is something around connection, around communication, around someone whose energy has been present in your thoughts, even when you have tried to put it aside. And both of these things feel like they are sitting right at the edge of something, not far away, not theoretical, right at the edge. Let me start with the abundance piece, because I think for a lot of you watching this, your relationship with money, with financial stability, with the idea of having enough has been complicated. Maybe it has always felt just slightly out of reach, like you are always working towards something that keeps moving, like no matter how hard you push, the ground between you and real stability feels longer than it should. And that is exhausting, not just practically, but emotionally. There is a particular kind of weight that comes from financial uncertainty, one that touches everything: the way you sleep, the way you make decisions, the way you relate to other people, the way you feel about yourself. And I want to acknowledge that weight before anything else, because it is real and it deserves to be seen. But here is what I am noticing in the energy around you right now. There is a shift in the probability of how resources move in your life. Not because luck is suddenly on your side, not because something magical is about to fall from the sky, but because something in how you have been showing up and how you have been thinking and what you have been willing to consider possible for yourself has changed. And that internal shift, that quiet but significant rearrangement of what you believe you are allowed to receive, that is what creates new openings. Not dramatic ones necessarily, not all at once, but real ones, solid ones, the kind that build on each other, Have you noticed yourself thinking differently about money lately? About what is possible for you financially? About opportunities you might have previously dismissed or not even allowed yourself to consider? Tell me in the comments, because I think this internal shift is happening for more of you than you realize. Let me paint a scene for you. Imagine you are going about an ordinary day. Nothing special, nothing planned. Maybe you are at your desk or running an errand or just moving through the motions of the afternoon, and something arrives unexpected, maybe a message, maybe a conversation, maybe an opportunity that knocks on a door you forgot you had left open. And your first instinct is to question it, to look for the catch, to brace for the disappointment that experience has taught you tends to follow moments like this. But something is different this time. Something in you pauses before the skepticism takes over. Something in you just lets it land, lets it be real, lets yourself consider, even briefly, that this might actually be what it appears to be. That pause, that small, courageous pause before the self-protection kicks in. That is what I am sensing is becoming more possible for you right now. Now let me move to the second piece, because there is someone, I don't know who they are to you, I don't need to, but you know you felt it the moment I said that. There is someone whose name or face or energy came to your mind just now. Someone you have been waiting to hear from, maybe consciously, maybe in that quieter way where you don't admit it to yourself. But every time your phone lights up, some part of you checks, hoping, and maybe you have been frustrated with yourself for that. Maybe you have told yourself to stop waiting, to move on, to let it go, to stop giving someone that kind of power over your attention. And yet, they are still there. Somewhere in the background of your thoughts, in that quiet corner of your awareness that you try not to visit too often. I want to be very careful here, because I am not here to tell you what this person means. I am not here to tell you what they will do or what you should do. What I am here to do is sit with the energy of what is present. And what is present around this connection, around this person, feels like movement. Not the kind of movement that comes from forcing something, not the kind that comes from reaching or pushing or trying to make something happen, but the kind that comes from two things that have been orbiting each other at a distance, slowly, naturally finding their way back into range. Think about the last time you thought about this person, really thought about them, not the surface version, the real version, the one underneath the complicated feelings and the history and the uncertainty. What did that feel like? Was it heavy? Was it warm? Was it both at the same time? Because that feeling, whatever it is for you, is information, real, honest, uncomplicated information about where you actually are with this. And I think a lot of you have been trying to talk yourself out of what you actually feel, trying to be practical, trying to be sensible, trying to protect yourself, which is understandable, completely understandable. But sometimes the most honest thing you can do is just let yourself feel it without deciding what it means, without immediately turning it into a problem to solve. Just feel it. Have you been carrying feelings about someone that you haven't allowed yourself to fully acknowledge? Something that lives in a quiet corner of you that you try not to visit too often? Leave a comment below. You don't have to explain everything. Sometimes just naming that it is there is its own kind of relief. Now I want to talk about the connection between these two things. The abundance, the connection, the money, the person. Because I don't think they are separate. I think when a person is genuinely opening, when they are becoming more available to receive good things, it tends to happen across multiple areas at once. It is like once a door cracks open inside you, the light doesn't just come through one part, it touches everything. And what I am sensing right now is that something in you has been cracking open. Not broken, not falling apart, opening in the way that something that has been held very tightly for a very long time finally begins to ease, finally begins to trust that loosening its grip will not mean losing everything. Hold on, because I want to name something here that I think is really important. You have been holding a lot for a long time, and a significant part of that holding has been about control, not controlling others, but trying to control outcomes, trying to manage possibilities, trying to stay one step ahead of disappointment by not fully investing in hope. And that impulse makes complete sense given your history, given what you have navigated, given how many times hope has felt dangerous. But here's what I want to offer you. The grip that has been keeping you safe may also have been keeping certain things from reaching you, not punishing you, not blocking you deliberately, just physics. The same hand that is closed to protect itself is also closed to receive. And what is shifting right now is the slow, tentative beginning of an unclenching of your hand, of your heart, of your belief about what is available to you. And that unclenching, that is where everything begins to move. Let me talk about what unexpected actually means, because the word unexpected is in this energy for a reason. When we talk about unexpected abundance or an unexpected message from someone, we are not talking about something that comes from nowhere. We are talking about something that was already in motion, that you were not tracking, something that was building in a direction you were not watching, something that arrives from an angle you did not anticipate. And the reason it feels unexpected is often because we get so focused on one possible path toward what we want that we stop being available to all the other ways it could arrive. I'm not sure why, but this feels important to say right now. What you are hoping for may not be coming through the door you have been watching. It may be coming through a window or a side entrance or a way you have not thought to look. And part of what this moment is inviting you into is a wider awareness, a softer gaze, less fixation on how things are supposed to look, and more openness to how they might actually arrive. Think about something you have been wanting, something specific, something you have a very clear picture of in your mind. Now ask yourself, am I open to this arriving differently than I imagined? Am I willing to receive this in a form I didn't plan for? Am I available to be surprised? That question, that genuine openness to being surprised, that is one of the most powerful internal positions you can hold right now. Let me slow down for a second because I want to acknowledge something that lives underneath all of this. There is a version of you that doesn't fully believe good things are coming. Not because you are negative, not because you have given up, but because you have been in the waiting for long enough. That part of you has quietly started to wonder if the waiting is just the thing, if the hoping is just the thing, if this is just what life feels like for you. And I want to speak directly to that part. That part is not wrong for being tired. That part is not broken for being skeptical. That part has been doing its best to protect you. But that part is not the whole story. The probability of good things reaching you is not determined by how long you have been waiting. It is not a punishment system. It is not a reward system. It is not a test of how much you can endure before you are allowed to receive. It is simply a question of openness, of readiness, of what you are genuinely available to receive right now. And what I sense in you right now is an openness that is growing quietly, without announcement, but real. Have you been feeling more open lately than you expected to? More available to possibility than you have been in a while? Even if you can't fully explain it, leave me a comment below, because that shift in internal availability, that is not nothing. That is actually significant. Let me bring this toward its close now, but slowly, because I don't want to rush past what this moment has been. You came here carrying something, maybe hope, maybe doubt, maybe both at the same time, maybe something you don't even have a word for yet. And I want you to notice how you feel right now in your body compared to when you first clicked on this. Is there anything slightly different? Any small shift in the weight of what you were carrying? Any tiny loosening anywhere? Notice that, even if it is small, even if it is subtle, because that is real. That is not performance. That is you actually receiving something, even in this small way, even in this moment. Here is what I want to leave you with. The abundance that is possible for you right now is real. The connection that is stirring is real. The shift that is happening inside you is real. None of it is guaranteed. None of it comes without your participation. None of it happens while you are braced and closed and waiting for the disappointment. But all of it becomes more probable the more you allow yourself to be genuinely open. Not naively open, not recklessly open, but grounded clear, honest, awake, open, the kind of open that says, I have been through enough to know that life is not always kind, and I am choosing to stay available anyway. That choice, that daily, quiet, unglamorous choice to stay available, that is everything. If this reading touched something real in you today, please leave a comment. Tell me what resonated. Tell me what you are waiting for. Tell me what you are slowly beginning to believe might actually be possible. Because you being here matters. What you are carrying matters. And what is moving towards you right now is worth staying open for. Take care of yourself, stay open, and let yourself be surprised. No fairy tales, no false promises, just presence for the ones brave enough to stay open after everything. Your openness is your power. Protect it, use it, trust it.